Bank documents show CBN paid Andy Uba 2.4 billion naira in arms fraud, but Buhari regime concealed it. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. From the arms procurement fraud that assailed President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, the Central Bank of Nigeria paid 2.4 billion naira to Andy Uba, a former senator and ruling APC candidate, in the upcoming Anambra gubernatorial election. Documents seen by People's Gazette said the transaction was uncovered by the investigative panel raised by President Muhammadu Buhari to probe the $2.1 billion arms purchase scandal in 2016. But the presidency ordered members of the panel to expunge Mr. Uba's name from indicted individuals and entities, according to two sources familiar with the matter. Bank records obtained by the Gazette showed how the Office of the National Security Advisor paid Southland Associates Limited $2,440,959,000 through its Zenith account number 5070363103 via the CBN on November 8, 2014. Southland Associates registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) on June 12, 2001 by Mr. Uba, registration document said. Although a transfer instruction emanated from the disgraced former NCO Sabo Dasuki, the purpose of the transaction was not disclosed. But one of our sources said that Mr. Uba had told the NSA he could use Southland Associates, a company registered as an oil and gas business, to supply military peripherals. He, however, failed to supply the equipment. Instead, Mr. Uba started transferring the money from Southland Associates accounts into other accounts run by himself and Proaxis, records show. Months preceding the 2.4 billion naira transfer, Southland Associates had less than 24 million in its accounts, indicating that it was not in any consequential business prior to the windfall from funds originally earmarked for the Boko Haram war. Mr. Uba transferred some of the funds abroad to maintain an aircraft, records said. On October 2, 2014, 40.9 million was sent abroad for insurance of aircraft, title services, while 41.8 million naira was sent for the same purpose on December 12, 2014. Also in 2014, Mr. Uba transferred 372.8 million naira to a company named Just T-Shirt for undisclosed purposes, but apparently part of a rush to deplete the 2.4 billion naira. Chike Okeke, Mr. Uba's long-term associate, collected over 700 million naira into several bank accounts linked to him. Mr. Uba withdrew 15 million naira and 16 million naira into his own private accounts in at least two transactions, bank records said. On August 24, 2015, 3 months after assuming office as president, Mr. Buhari raised the Committee on Audit of Defense Equipment Procurement in the Nigerian Armed Forces as part of his promise to stamp out corruption and irregularities in Nigeria's public service. But when members of a panel in the months after the inauguration uncovered fraud that involved Mr. Buhari's ally, the presidency moved to hush it up. Only members of the opposition and other strong critics of a regime were arrested, charged, and commonly held arbitrarily for months in defiance of court orders for their release on bail. Mr. Uba was among those whose roles in the fraud were concealed. Abdul Rahman Dambazo, a former chief of army staff, and Mr. Buhari, Interior Minister, 2015 to 2019, and Tokor Borotai, the Chief of Army Staff, between 2015 and January 2021, were also protected from being charged with fraud, as sources said. A source said the presidency concealed Mr. Uba's involvement because he was seen as the president's main enforcer in the southeast, where the administration is largely seen as unwelcome for its sectional agenda. Mr. Uba did not return requests seeking comments between Thursday morning and evening. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu did not deny that the presidency shielded Mr. Ubah from the Armś probe. Instead, he directed all inquiries to Mr. Ubah. A spokesman for the CBN did not return a request seeking comment about the bank involvement. The Gazette had in September reported how the United States seized about $6.1 million of arms procurement funds after a hired arms supplier pleaded guilty to charges including illegal dealing in military-grade weapons and money laundering. Details of Mr. Ubah's failure to declare Southland Associates, the $2.4 billion windfall from the CBN, and the cover-up by the Presidency were anonymously sent to the Gazette by someone who claimed to be close to the politician. The files, attached in 2 successive messages, were sent overnight to the anonymous tips email listed on the Gazette website. Our reporters conducted additional checks that further corroborated the tips as genuine and comprehensive. Besides his involvement in the arms procurement fraud, Mr. Ubah appeared to have committed 2 additional crimes for which it remained unclear whether or not he will be charged, documents reviewed by the Gazette indicate. Mr. Ubah registered Southland Associates in 2001 when he was Special Assistant on Special Duties and Domestic Affairs to President Olusegun Obasanjo, while Senator from 2011 to 2015. Mr. Ubah continued to run Southland Associates according to bank documents in violation of the Nigerian Constitution, which prohibits public servants from engaging in private businesses. Part 1, 5th Schedule, Section of 2B of the 1999 Constitution said that a public officer shall not, except when he is not employed on full-time basis, engage or participate in management or running of any private business, profession, or trade. In his asset declaration for 2011 and 2015, Mr. Ubah listed Centrus Industry Limited, acquired in 2007 in Ibadan and valued at $400 million as his company. He also admitted ownership of Link Nigeria Limited with a tank farm in Calabar. The 2 were the only companies the Anambra politician said he owned when he swore under oath before the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Mr. Ubah failed to declare Southland Associates to the Code of Conduct Bureau (CCB) in both 2011 and 2015, as well as in 2019, when he declared its assets after leaving office. Non-disclosure of assets is a violation of the Code of Conduct law for public office holders. The APC candidate also did not respond to requests seeking to know why he failed to list Southland Associates in his CCB asset declaration, and if he is aware that running a private business as an elected senator is an offense. The APC candidate was in 2008 barred from entering the United Kingdom over allegation of corrupt practices. And that is it for today. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.